Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to the United Stand. It's back, football is back. Manchester United will be playing a game in the Premier League on Saturday afternoon. They'll be playing Leicester City. We can preview proper football, but we're also going to be talking about something that I'm just going to sit here and go, nah, I'm not having that. I'm not a horse that's getting it wrong. Manchester United are prioritising the addition of a game-changing defensive midfielder across the next two transfer windows because they're desperate for a player that can make an immediate impact on filling the current void. Nah, I'm not having this. You've just spent over £100 million this summer on players that, yeah, they're fantastic, but we had that void. You've ignored it. It's not being an excuse. United doing the same old thing again, talking about the future, Progress FC. Nah, not having that. We'll definitely talk about that though. But I want to talk about the preview. I want to talk about why we should beat Leicester. But first of all, energy in the show today. And thank you to Ultimate Fan. I know a lot of you have been playing this. Today's show is supported by the Ultimate Fan Fantasy League app because football is back. Ultimate Fan is a fantasy football with a twist. Imagine fantasy football combined with super cool pack openings. The game is super simple to play. All you've got to do is be over 18 and download the app totally free in the link in the description. Follow the sign-up system and then you'll be able to start opening packs and filling in your system for the coming weekend. There is also Ultimate Fan Plus for you to explore. This section features paid for gold and silver packs where you can receive extra cards to improve your team, exclusive content and much more. Each week there are prizes available for the teams that perform the best by accumulating points from the players in your team over the results of the weekend. This week's prize is £8,500. Last week on Ultimate Fan we smashed it with 50 points, 24 of those coming from my captain for the week, which was Jack Grealish. This week we're back to Premier League action though, which means I need to think strategically about who to place in my team. I'm staying with the same defence of Robertson and Rudiger as I think both Chelsea and Liverpool will not concede against Watford and Brentford. However, up top I'm bringing in our new card, James Ward-Prowse, as hopefully he can bring a free kick against Leeds. And finally, I'm keeping my captain as Grealish and choosing Sadio Mane for my golden boot card. If you want to check out my team, we've posted a pic on the United Stand Twitter page. If you head over there, make sure to drop your screenshots of your team in the comments and we'll check those out. And if you want to take part in this awesome game, then hit the link in the description below and you can start playing Ultimate Fan today. As I say, it's free. You must be over 18. Thanks again to Ultimate Fan for supporting the United Stand. And now we can move on with the show. Am I on the screen? No, I'm hidden to the right. Give it a go. Lots of fun. Anyway, let's get into the show. This is Manchester United's trip to Leicester. This is a game we have to win. And the positive news I'm going to bring you before I talk about that team on the screen is this. Apparently James Ward-Prowse got a red. Thanks to... See, this is why I mentioned my Ultimate Fan team, because you lot can help me. Thank you very much. So James Ward-Prowse is suspended. I better change that. Don't pick James Ward-Prowse. This is why the community works really well. Sides says that Fred could be back for this game. Apparently we're chartering a plane to get Fred back. Don't bother. Give him a holiday in Brazil. Let him go and see the family. Go to the coast. Have a pina colada. Have a Brazilian. I don't know what I'm talking about. But seriously, don't bring Fred back early. Don't bring Fred back into the team at all. And I know that's harsh, but we're trying to win games of football. Now, the interesting thing is, before I talk about Manchester United and how we should line up, let's give a little bit of focus on Leicester. Leicester, we've taken 14 from 21. Leicester have taken 8 from 21. That's terrible, I hear you say. It is terrible. Terrible from the Foxes. They've only won 2 games. They beat Norwich and I think they beat somebody else Wolves. And drawn 2 others. They've been beaten by West Ham comprehensively. Man City beat them. Their last few games I think they've drawn with Burnley and Palace. This is not the Leicester City that people think it is. They're really not performing very well. So first of all, no Ndidi. Ndidi's not playing. And they're not playing well. And I look at United, I look at that team and I think, ooh, we've got a good team. Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba, Marcus Rashford's back. People are talking about the centre-back situation. Oh, will Maguire be fit? If not, we've got to play Lindelof and Bay. Have you realised how bad Leicester are this season? Yes, we've not had a very good start to the season, but bloody hell. Look at the quality of player we've got and look at what they've got. I think in many ways this is the perfect game for Solskjaer and he'll be licking his lips like I do when I see a fish finger sandwich with ketchup and mayonnaise and a sprinkling of lettuce. I really do. And it doesn't matter whether I'm hungry or not. I still will lick my lips and think I'm going to have you later. But that's what she said. But the reality is this is a very, very good game for Manchester United. Leicester are perceived to be a hard game because it's away. But actually on paper, Leicester are not that good this season. They're really not. So I think that I'm not going to predict whether we're going to win or lose yet, but what I do want to say is that Manchester United should be winning this game. There's no excuses, and Leicester are not having a big season. Smash a like on the video. Sue to score 2. Sue! I did actually say C then, but I just do it deep. Watch, I'll do it again. Sue! I'm saying C, but I'm saying it deep. It's amazing. I'll do it again. Sue! It sounds like Sue. I'm not even doing Sue or anything like that. It's amazing. Anyway, enough of Sue. Let me talk to you about how I think United will line up in this game against Leicester. 3 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. We're back to the stupid 3 o'clock kickoffs. We've had a lot of these this season. Very, very disappointing, but it is what it is if you live in the UK. Anyway, De Gea in goal. Lindelof will definitely play. Wan-Bissaka and Shaw should definitely play. Maguire probably won't play, but I've put him in there because I think Harry Maguire, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says, can you play with a broken leg, he'll try and do it. You can't knock Harry for that. He shouldn't do it. I hope he doesn't play. I'd play Eric Bailly, but I wouldn't be surprised if Harry Maguire did play because, he's Captain Harry, I need you, and all that jazz. But we've got bigger games to come. I mean, Varane will not play against Liverpool. Do you want Maguire back for Leicester, risking another injury, or do you want him back for Liverpool? Maguire. So I think just go with Bailly. Also, Bailly's pace is going to help us against Vardy. They're quite a quick team, Leicester. They've got people like, I think they bought that Doku or Daka. I always get them mixed up. Imagine if they played tiki-taka and they had Doku Daka. That would be Doku Daka for Leicester playing tiki-taka. But enough of the tongue teasers. Vardy's fast. Lookman's fast. If they bring the lad off Doku or Daka. Sorry, it is Daka. He's fast. So I would play Eric Bailly in this game. Eric Bailly tends to play quite well. And why risk Maguire when you don't need to? Obviously, I think in the midfield, I think he has to play Pogba in the midfield. I don't care if Fred is teleporting from Brazil to Manchester. I don't care if he's flying, swimming or jet skiing. I don't want him in that team. I don't care whether he's been on international duty or not. I just do not get the fascination with Fred from Ollie. I wouldn't pick McTominay or Fred. I think they were atrocious in the last couple of games. But Fred has been atrocious longer. I would not put Fred in this team. And it's nothing to do with, Fred's the victim. I mean, check out the video this morning with Paul Ince. It was absolutely brilliant. A brilliant 40 minutes where we covered everything. You've got to watch that video from this morning. We spoke about Fred in depth. But for me, he's just, I look back to the Wolves game, the Southampton game. He was dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. And yet, he's still playing. Get him out of the team. Pogba has to play in the midfield. If it's McTominay next to him, it's still not McTominay and Fred. So I will take that, and I think that's what he will do. Personally, it wouldn't be McTominay for me. I would go with Matic. I don't know where Matic is. No one knows. So I'd play Matic with Pogba. That's what I would do. Obviously, Bruno ahead of them. Ronaldo to complete the spine. And then I think he will go with Greenwood on the right, and I think he will chuck Marcus Rashford straight in. I do. I think that he will go with Ronaldo. What's wrong with the thumbnail? People are saying there's something wrong with the thumbnail. I don't know. I don't get it. What's wrong with the thumbnail? Nice thumbnail, Mark. Thumbnail's wrong. Thumbnail in the mud. What's wrong with the thumbnail? Let's have a look. I've got Vardy and Ronaldo on mine, so I don't know. I've got Leicester versus Manchester United, and I've got Vardy and Ronaldo, so I don't know what the issue is with the thumbnail. Maybe you need to refresh your face and eyes, because I've definitely got Leicester, Manchester United. So yeah, this is how I think he will line up. I think he will be tempted to bring Marcus Rashford back into the team, of course. I think Mason Greenwood as well. And I think that he will probably go with Paul Pogba in the midfield, because otherwise he would have to drop Paul Pogba. I mean, of course, what he might do is not play Rashford. Start with Pogba on the left. We've heard that Pogba likes to play off the left, and put Pogba off the left and play McTominay and Matic, or play McTominay and Donny. How nice would that be? But I don't think it will say. Yeah, I don't know why it's not updated for you lots. The thumbnail is absolutely fine. So, you're living in the past, lads and ladies. So, moving on. That team, let me just refresh it for you. look, it's probably going to be McTominay, but I don't think there's a chance that Jadon Sancho starts in this game. It's a very, very good point. I don't think he does. Let me just talk about the CDM, though, because there is something very topical that's come out in the last half an hour from the Manchester Evening News. Manchester United are prioritising the addition of a game-changing defensive midfielder across the next 2 transfer windows and are desperate for a player who can make an immediate mark on the starting lineup by filling the current void. You know what I feel like doing? Slamming my fist down on the table and saying, why are we so inept? Why are we so incompetent? Why are we so rubbish? Why is this coming out? That's what she said. But the reality is, why are we having to read something that we already bloody knew for a year? We've been talking about this as a fan base, not just the United Stand community, not just on Twitter, in the forums, ex-players, in the media. Man United need a good CDM. What do we get? Bloody 7 games into the season when we've dropped 7 points from 21. United, it's like they've solved world peace. We've got it. We've figured it out. We need a CDM to sort the team out. Whoopee shit. You know, this is literally what we've been talking about for bloody ages. Why do fans and the media and ex-players know more than our bloody club? Why have they not figured this out? Why do they not know this? And why are we meant to be happy about it? Did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer not say at the start of the season, I'm really happy with my squad, Ronaldo's like a cherry on the cake? He didn't say those exact words, but he basically said, I'm very happy with the squad. This season, we need to be challenging for a title in April. Why the hell are we now hearing that United have realised they've got a problem in the midfield and over the next 2 transfer windows, they're going to solve the problem? I tell you what I think about that. There's so much I think about that. It's not incompetence, it's greed, says Andre, and the media has finally reached where fans were a year ago, says Aditya. You know what gets me on this? It really is this simple. We've bought Ronaldo for massive expense. We've bought Jadon Sancho for massive expense. And we've bought Rafael Varane, who I think is a brilliant signing. We neglected the midfield. He's neglected the midfield because he thought Fred and McTominay were good enough. And now he's realised what everybody else knew. They ain't good enough. And suddenly he's knocking on the door going, I do need a CDM. And if I was the board, I would say, what? What? You told us your priority was Sancho, Varane, and we gifted you Ronaldo on top. And you're now knocking on the door saying you need a CDM. Yeah. Well, why didn't you realise that in the summer? Well, I thought Sancho was more of a priority. Well, I just don't know what to say to you, Ollie. Just go and sit in your office for a bit while I calm down. You know, that's what I would say because everybody was talking about this. I don't mind if a problem presents itself in the season. Like, imagine Luke Shaw suddenly started playing terrible. And all through he just couldn't get his form back. You'd either have to give Telles a go or you'd have to buy someone. I don't mind those problems. But what I do mind is coming into a season knowing the problem and everybody knowing his problem. And then in the season when we start it badly, you know what? We need a CDM. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating because we all knew it. And now it's almost like United are going, yeah, we've had a crap start to the season because we need a midfielder. What? Can I just stand still while I'm shocked? I'm so shocked. I'm stunned by this revelation of brilliant foresight and tactical genius. We need a CDM. Hey, everybody, wait a minute. Stop what you're doing. Stop giving your COVID jabs. Listen to this. You will regret it if you don't listen. Tell them what you just told me. You're taking the piss, aren't you? No. Tell them what you just told me. You're taking the piss. Just tell them. Man United need a midfielder. See, I told you, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Manchester United need a midfielder. Who would have bloody thought it? And I am taking the piss and I'm being sarcastic, by the way. I realise that some people don't get sarcasm. But you know what? We're Manchester United. I am tired, as I'm sure most of you are, I am tired as a Manchester United fan of seeing the issues, being vocal about the issues, and then United, you know, I tell you who we should be called Slow Sports News with Manchester United. Breaking Slow Sports News. Manchester United need a centre defensive midfielder and are looking for one in the next 2 transfer windows. It's amazing. I'm like, fucking hell, why did we just not buy one in the summer? It's so frustrating. And I refuse. You know what? But look, if we get one, great. We do need to get one. That's part of the problem. But I am not sitting here this season and going, you know what? At least they've acknowledged it. It's an excuse for being crap. No. You went into the summer transfer window as a club, you spent enough money and you ignored a CDM. I'm sorry, you crack on with what you've got, and if you're not good enough, you're not good enough. They could have got a midfielder. I like Sancho, I really do. I think he's going to be a brilliant player. But if you're asking me, would I have spent £74 million on Sancho or £74 million on a CDM? Every single time, I'm 100%, I'm buying a CDM. And the reason is, if you don't buy Sancho, you've still got Greenwood, Rashford, Martial, Lingard, Elanga, Ahmad, if you wanted to use him. We've got loads of options in the attacking positions. Granted, not many of them are as creative as Sancho, and that's why we need him. But he's not like he's come into the team and been picked from the start. Sancho to me looks like he's being, gradually phased in. A CDM straight into that team. Get Jonah in the CDM, not roll back to Madrid game, says Ben Treolo. I just despair at the fact that we should have bought a CDM. Rashford for me, PSG says Rashford is back. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but for me, Marcus Rashford goes straight into this team for the Leicester game. My score prediction, I will give it you now. I'm going to go Manchester United to win. Score predictions are a bloody nightmare because we could win 6-0. They could get a red card. I don't think Leicester are very good. I look at their back four. I think they played Sionku and Vestergaard last game. Castagnet, I can't remember who the other fullback was actually. Bertrand, I think, has gone there, hasn't he? So I think that they can concede. I don't think their midfield is going to be anywhere near as good without Ndidi. I think last game they played Chowdhury and Tielemans. Harvey Barnes is a good player. Lookman's a good player. Vardy and Iheanacho, I think they played a 4-4-2 in the last game against Palace. Look, they're a decent team, but I actually don't think Leicester are as good as Everton at the moment. So we should have beat Leicester. We should have beat Everton. I think we will beat Leicester. I'm going to say it'll be 2-0 or 2-1 United. I think, maybe we'll concede a goal because of, the centre-back issues. Mark, we don't need a CDM. We need two of them, says Sean from Ireland. Oh, yeah, well, the brilliant thing is, Sean from Ireland. You know what the great thing is, Sean from Ireland, is that the genius of we're looking to get a CDM in the next two transfer windows. Basically, that means next summer. What the bloody hell are we doing now in October then? We're just going to walk around with our pants down for 9 months. Because our pants are down with that midfield. Really down and exposed. And it's going to get cold in the winter. And we need to, we should have pulled those trousers up. But the genius is, we need a CDM next summer. It's not like everybody else in the team is just going to wait and be here. What if Pogba goes? What if Donny goes? What if Lingard goes? Cavani will be gone. What if two of our centre-backs go? The thing that frustrates me about United is it's always next year. We're always next year FC. It's always progress FC. And this is what, Incy was talking about this morning. It's like, well, why is it always next year? 3 years they've been working on this team. Lots of money, hundreds of millions of pounds have been spent on this team. Very, very few clubs ever actually have the perfect 11. You're always maybe one or two players that you'd like to improve. Get on with it and deliver with what we've got. We've got one of the world's best ever players up front. We've bought one of the world's best centre-backs. And we've got a team that finished second. And we spent £74 million on Sancho. And David De Gea is playing like one of the world's best goalkeepers at the moment. So there's no excuse. We need to be doing better and we need to perform. But I do think we will beat Leicester. I can't predict that we're going to beat Atalanta because I just don't know. I can't predict that we're going to beat Liverpool or Man City, but I think Leicester and Spurs are two games we will win. And we have to win because I tell you what, if we don't beat Leicester on Saturday, the pressure on that Liverpool game is immense. And a draw's not good enough against Leicester, who have been drawing recently. Think everyone agrees, tired of scraping a win. Can't remember the last game we properly dominated apart from Leeds both times. I'll be no more optimistic if we win right nil at the end with a load of luck, says Ben Trellier. But look, Rashford for me goes straight back into the team. And whether you like it or not, Marcus Rashford's the sort of player that if we're playing crap, can score a goal out of nothing and we win 1-0. And Ollie will be very excited about that. I'm sick of Matic's too slow nonsense. He's never been fast. Also, Rodri is just as slow and less physical. Also, he never said he can't go 90 minutes, says T. You know what, T? I would like to applaud you. I will applaud you because why can these blue tick journalists who have been to uni and, they deserve the respect. They are professionals. They are journalists, and they think that they deserve that respect. So let's give them that respect. There's a press conference tomorrow afternoon. Why don't one of you do something that would be very well received by us fans, as mere fans? Why don't you ask a question that's actually researched about the club that you sat in? Don't ask Ollie about what the weather's like. Don't ask him what he thinks about Ryder Cup. Don't ask him what he thinks about the Champions League reform in 2 years' time. Don't ask him what he thinks about Boris Johnson's holiday. Why don't you ask him, being as United need a midfielder, why don't you ask him why one of the best Premier League CDMs of the last decade, who is at Manchester United, who hasn't retired, is not playing for Manchester United? I would love to know. And it's a very simple question. Get your pen and paper. They'll never ask it. Why does Nemanja Matic not start games for Manchester United? And is it because he can't play 90 minutes twice a week? And if you get the answer to that question, we as fans get a very important question answered. Why is it Nemanja Matic, who is clearly our best CDM, in fact he's our only CDM, why does he not play games for Manchester United? Now, I've been told a couple of times in the last 8 months it's because he can't play games 90 minutes anymore. If that's the truth, why is he here? Is he just another coach like Mata? I mean, we've got so many coaches, we should start a bloody bus company. National Express would be in trouble for how many coaches we've got. I mean, Mata's basically just another coach. Is that what Matic is? Another experienced coach? Why is he not playing? We were the second highest scoring team last season. Why do you think we don't look fluid in attack this season? Luck, coaching, or just been found out, says Andrew. Well, we did score 9 goals against Southampton, so I don't know what happens if you take those 9 off. Shane says, if we had got a CDM in the summer, we would have got top of the league with hard games to follow, with allows us to drop points and still be in the mix. Yeah, very true. Donny with Matic works better than Pogba with Matic, don't you think, says Karen. Yeah, I'd love to see on that page there, I'd love to see Matic and Donny. You could see Matic and Donny if he didn't start Rashford and you put Pogba on the left. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing that. But for me, Rashford goes straight into the team. We play like an underdog team with a team full of stars. Why do we always have to struggle to perform decent, says Red Baron. You know what? You can clip this up if you want, because live by the sword, die by the sword. I think it's time Ollie lived by the sword as well, because if he's not careful, he's going to die by his own sword. You know, he's falling onto it. But I'm going to tell you this now. I've got a feeling that Manchester United will win against Leicester, and we will win in a way that is very pleasing. Because against Everton for an hour, I was very impressed with how quickly we moved the ball. Now, why would we not continue that against Leicester? You know, for an hour against Everton, we moved the ball really well. And then we bottled it when they scored and we should have lost the game. But there was a bit of progress there. I expect to see that progress again. And with the quality of players we've got, I expect us to score at least 2 goals. I don't think they'll score 2 goals. So I think we'll win and I think we're going to play well. But it's only a hunch. Even if we get a CDM, imagine the pressure on him to deliver instantly. I'm Glazers out, but this is on Ollie. I still hope and pray Ollie will turn it around, says JC. Also, journalists won't ask their specific questions or they won't be invited back. It's the system of press conference that we should be questioning, says Red Baron. Well, it's a dictatorship, isn't it? It's a dictatorship. If you can't ask a question that's, you know, I wouldn't invite anybody back to a press conference if they sat there and went, Ollie, why are you so shit? Why is your tactics so shit? You know, obviously not swearing, but, you know, in a very blunt way. But if somebody said to me, Ollie, why does Nemanja Matic not play? He's arguably your best centre defensive midfielder. Is it true that he just can't play 2 games a week anymore? You're banned. Why? You know, Mark, those type of questions will never be asked. Remember, they banned the journalist who asked Ollie the tactics question. Sad, says Amit. But that's a dictatorship then. You know, we should be told why he picks McTominay and Fred over Pogba, Matic and Donny. You should be able to ask that question. Wolves have been bad, but never still the man for United, says Robin. And won't be easy beating Leicester as you make it seem, says Nadia. Look, I don't think it'll be easy. I don't think it will be easy to beat Leicester, but I think we will beat Leicester. That's my prediction. I have to predict. I predict we will win. And to be honest with you, if that team played to its capabilities, we would comfortably beat Leicester. I'm more saying we'll beat Leicester, not because of any certainty I have about us, but because of my certainty around Leicester. No Ndidi, not playing very well. 8 points from 21 is terrible. They've dropped over half their points. Over 60% of their points they've dropped. And they've not played anybody that good. Man City beat them. They got smashed by West Ham, but they're dropping points to people like Burnley and Palace. And Brighton beat them. So they're not performing very well, Leicester. And they need a result as much as we do, really. But that might inspire them. But I just don't think that... I think we will beat Leicester. I can never predict we're going to play well. Because these are the sort of games that we don't play well in. But we can't afford a draw. We definitely can't afford a loss. We need to start this run of hard games with a win, and I expect that to happen on Saturday afternoon. I really do. Look, thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you smash a like on the video and do subscribe. All I want to say is the video this morning with Paul Ince, if you haven't watched it, you need to check it out. It was absolutely superb. I'm going to go with the United win 2-0. I'm going to go 2-0. I think we'll keep it clean. No, 2-1. We're going to go 2-1. And make sure you play Ultimate Fan. Links in the video description. The football is back this weekend. It's a lot of fun. You've got to be over 18, but it is free to play. There are cash prizes up for grabs as well. Terms and conditions are there in the video description as well. Links in the video description. Give it a go. Football's back. Yabba dabba do. Fantastic show. Loved the energy. Loved all of you getting involved who've watched it live. And if you're not watching live, so what? Just watch it and enjoy it. It was a cracking show. Mikhail Roach, thanks for the super chat. I'll speak to you in a bit. Also, keep an eye on at Goldbridge Mark Instagram tonight. I'm going to be meeting up with some United standards. You're going to want to see the stories and stuff. So check out with that. There's no career mode today. I'm heading into town now. So I'll speak to you later. But make sure you keep an eye on my Instagram at Goldbridge Mark. I'll tweet it out as well for you. Meeting up with a few people tonight. Speak to you in a bit.